So I'm delighted to be joined by the European Union's ambassador to the UK, excuse me, João Vale Almeida. Very nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. You'll have heard the Prime Minister today saying not a single vaccine or vaccine component has been blocked by the British government when it comes to export. So presumably the President of the EU, Prime Minister of Belgium, Charles Michel, just got it completely wrong.
Well, good evening. Thank you for hosting me tonight. You know, there will be correspondence between Dominic Raab and ourselves in Brussels about this, and I don't want to anticipate the official reply. But there's one point, and I agree with Dominic Raab, is when he says that we are in this together, that we can only fight this pandemic together. And that's our approach. And that is clearly illustrated by, you know, the degree of export of vaccines from the European Union to other countries. So we are at the same time providing for the needs of our citizens in an approach of solidarity, meaning that all the 27 member states have access equally according to their needs. That's our option, and we are very happy with it. And as you were saying, we are catching up on numbers. But at the same time, we are providing the possibility of the producers that produce in our territory to be able to export, including to the United Kingdom. That's our approach, and that's the way we see us cooperating as well. You know, the enemy is the virus.
But why do you think Charles Michel thinks? Why do you think he thinks that the UK is blocking exports of vaccines or vaccine components?
You know, I think one of the interesting points about this exchange that we've seen in the last 24 hours is that it put the issue of transparency on the table. It's important that we know what is happening in the supply chains of vaccines, in the export-import of vaccines. I think this is very important for our public opinion. I think this exchange has put that on the table. And on our side, we are at the same time very keen to make sure that the producers respect their commitments. You know, we are putting billions of taxpayers' money on the table to support research, but also to support production capability. We want to return on that investment, and we want to make sure that the companies are doing what they should do. The only way to know that is with transparency, is having the data that allows us to see where we are. We created a mechanism at the end of January, so now 1 month and a half old, and we only blocked once an export. And in the meantime, we have exported millions of doses to more than 30 countries. That's our approach to it, and we are ready to engage with our British friends. I'm very happy to see the success of the vaccination over here. But like the Foreign Secretary says, we are in this together, and we need to approach this together.
Look, I want to pick up on this and with much more with you in just a minute. And we'll also, after the break, we'll be talking to one of my footballing heroes, John Barnes. You won't be surprised. We'll talk a little bit about this great racism row. Don't go away. More from us in just a couple of minutes. Welcome back. I'm delighted that the EU's ambassador to the UK is still here. I don't want to dwell much longer on the vaccines issue, but I felt that what you were saying was that the fact that the EU has exported vaccines to so many countries, and, you know, Britain has probably not exported to so many countries, is, in your view, a sign that there is vaccine protectionism being practised by the UK government. Is that what you're saying?
I certainly want to refuse the accusation that we are protectionist and that we are vaccine nationalists. I think
but do you think the UK is a vaccine protectionist, a vaccine nationalist? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I think I'm not saying that or the opposite. I'm just saying that this is an important debate to get to know exactly how the procedures are taken, and there are different ways where you can ultimately have an impact on export of vaccines. I don't think we should be here neither in the beauty contest that I've seen sometimes, not in accusations across the board. I think what the world needs, what our citizens need, our countries need, is transparency about these circuits. We are ensuring that on our side. We want to make sure that the companies are transparent as well, and they respect their commitments. This is an important debate, I guess, given the dimension and the nature of this pandemic.
Now, your colleagues think that the action that David Frost, our Minister has taken in saying there'll be a unilateral 6-month extension of no checks on supermarket goods, medicines and parcels going from Great Britain to Northern Ireland. You see that as a breach of the Northern Ireland Protocol. What action will the EU be taking against the UK for that?
You know, we've been through a few years of difficult negotiations, a difficult divorce, I would say, including the most difficult issue, which was Northern Ireland. And it took us, you know, quite a lot of work and energy on both sides. We looked at the issues from different angles, and we found a consensus about a protocol, you know, a way of squaring the circle, of protecting the Good Friday Belfast Agreement, protecting and respecting the constitutional integrity of the United Kingdom, but also respecting the integrity of our single market. So the square of the circle gave us the protocol, which was agreed by both sides, and we now need to implement it. And unilateral decisions are not solutions. We need joint decisions according to the terms and the provisions of the protocol. That's only what we are asking for. We recognise that there are difficult problems in Northern Ireland, and we recognise the problems of business and citizens. And we have shown our, you know, availability to find pragmatic solutions. But these solutions have to be done together, and they have to respect the rules. When one of the parties does not respect the rules, we'll go for legal action. There's no alternative, and I'm sorry that we got to this point.
And when do you think the nature of the legal action will be announced?
I think in the coming days we'll see how we can move forward. But again, let me say here very clearly, there is no alternative to this protocol. If there was one, we would have, you know, considered it. There is no alternative. Even those who oppose the protocol don't provide an alternative. So the only solution is to implement it. And the only way to implement it is joining efforts, not through unilateral action. So we will have to take legal action. At the same time, we hope, and I hope personally, that we can, with some time, with some paused reflection, come to an understanding on the way forward that will, again, create better conditions for citizens and business in Northern Ireland, adjust and adapt to the new circumstances. There's one point I'd like to leave with you, Robert, and with our viewers. Decisions have consequences. And Brexit, and the way Brexit was decided by the government, that is, coming out of the single market and the customs union, has implications, has consequences. More difficult to handle in Northern Ireland, but also in the overall border between the UK and the EU. And we have to assume those consequences and try to find the best way. And I'm a believer in life after Brexit. It's not a religion, it's a rational approach to this new cycle of our relationship. And I hope we can forget the battles of the past and trying to score points on old disputes and move forward in a constructive way. That's the way I see it, and I think the way the European Union sees it.
Sadly, we're almost out of time. Just two very quick ones. One, this dispute, this breach of the Northern Ireland Protocol as you see it, is there any chance that will stop the European Parliament ratifying the treaty?
Well, the parliaments are autonomous and independent. I cannot speak on their behalf. We remain absolutely committed to ratifying the Trade and Cooperation Agreement, have it in force, because we believe it can produce good results, provided we change our mindset and we change the approach to it and become, you know, more forward-looking and more constructive. There are elements there that will suit the interests of our citizens and business, I guess.
And then finally, as I understand it, something like 30 years ago, you knew Boris Johnson when he was a young Brussels reporter. You were on the other side of a fence in the Brussels press room. Did you ever think he'd be Prime Minister?
No, to be very frank, no. But maybe I never thought I would be ambassador to the UK post-Brexit.
And do you think that you saw qualities in him that make him suited to be Prime Minister?
Well, that's up to the British people to decide, not for me. But we had a good understanding, good relationship, and even friendship. And I remember we were quite younger at that time. I can confirm that.
I'm glad you confirmed you were younger. Anyway, so nice to meet you today, and thanks for coming on.